Hello guys, what's up? So today we have a 65-inch Samsung TV and we're gonna smash it with the Roxor. So we have the curved TV which you see sitting right next to the Roxor, and we gonna be rolling over the TV with the Roxor. Let's get started. First, we throw it in the back of the Roxor. Surprising, it was quite heavy. The design in the back is very clean. There's just that one connector back there. On the other side, there's a whole slew of connecting ports for peripheral equipment, USB, and then you have also other connectors that could be plugged into the TV. The outlets are right behind. So let's get the Roxor started. And we back it out. It's a lot of cottonwood seeds that you can see flying around there. It's a big cottonwood tree around. You can see the seeds in the darker areas. So off we go to go test the TV, see if it still works. I actually left it out in the rain overnight. So this is an interior view. As you can see, I have the DFK hard cab, and when it gets very hot outside, I open up the windows and I also crack open the windshield, like you can see. The owner's manual says don't drive it like that, but it gets really hot. So this is the back of that 65-inch Samsung TV. You can see the various ports there for connecting accessories. You have the LAN for your computer. You have USB, two USB ports, USB-C. You have an optical input. Like I said, this is a Samsung 65 inches, and it's the curved type. Remember, these were pretty hot when they came out. Interesting fact, it has just one button to control the TV in case you don't have your remote control. So you press it in, the TV turns on, and then you can go top, bottom, left, right. Pretty ingenious. And that's where you plug in the power cord. You can see the back is kind of corrugated to make it stronger, and you have some vents down there and attachment points for fixing the TV to a wall or another hard surface. So we have the TV plugged into power. Let's see if it turns on. We'll press the power button. These don't do very well outside when it's so bright, so you might have some trouble seeing the images. It did not turn on. I guess we'll have to try again. Let's see, maybe we'll get lucky this time. Still nothing. Well, let's take it inside. So there you can see when you turn it on, initially it says smart TV, and you have the option below to go on Netflix, Hulu, whichever of those resources you usually use for your entertainment. And you can also scan channels. So it's a pretty sleek TV, but it absolutely works best when you have an internet connection. Very few people get TV through the air, but I know we have PBS, which is the public broadcasting service, I believe it's called PBS, and that you can get on the air, and maybe one or two local channels. Image quality is pretty good because they're all digital signals, but most people have their TV connected one way or another to the internet. So these are just some of the basic features you can access using that one unified button we had in the back. Not much to say for the TV. The right side of the screen, of course, is gone. So except you do picture in picture, then you watch your TV on the left side. It's pretty much toast. And the sad thing is the part that's actually broken is a very thin layer which is up front. I guess it's quite delicate to replace. That's why nobody really bothers. But the rest of the TV itself, everything still works. Sadly, it's just cracked. So it's junked. That's what the TV looks like before we set it up to be run over by the Roxor. My tires are all mismatched. I started by acquiring one tire to size it up and see how big I could go, 35s or 37s. Ultimately, I decided to go with 35s. I haven't seen the 37s yet, but I just think that will be too much. So even though these are all 35s, you can see the one on the rear left looks bigger than the other tires. The ones up front seem to be geared for on-road driving, whereas the ones in the back are more aggressive. Also, I have the 5.5-inch BMF Rox lift, which I absolutely love. It makes the Roxor sit so high, and I love it. I'm also running 2.5-inch spacers. So now I'm shifting to 4-wheel drive low range. Some people have difficulty with that. If you do, just try to rock your Roxor gently, and that might help. Also, the more you use your 4-wheel drive selector, the more you break it in, and it becomes easier to use in the future. And there we go. As you can see, the whole thing just breaks in half, but it springs back into shape, which is kind of strange. Let's see if I can back it up here. There we go. Aye, that crunching sound. But as a testament to the steel frame that they have inside and also the plastic frame outside, you see everything still stayed in one piece. The lower part split in half, split open, but for the most part the TV stayed intact, which is kind of amazing. That shows it's well put together, and it kind of retained its curved shape even after being run over by the Roxor multiple times. So for the structural integrity, I think these Samsung TVs are well built. So next we're gonna take a closer look at the components of the TV. That's a little minor flexing of the Roxor right there. Nice little travel, no rubbing, so I'm happy. That's only about an 8-inch wheel that it had to climb on, so it didn't really flex as much. But that's what it looks like if you were to go over an 8-inch rock out in the boonies or on a trail. So we're gonna roll down and then we take the TV and see what it looks like inside. I'm actually curious. I don't know what's in there. Do be careful if you try this at home, because some of these TVs, they have capacitors and other electronic components in there that will retain a charge, and they could give you a nasty, nasty shock. So do be careful if you try doing this at home. I don't know my way around this, so I'm just fooling around with the components. And you can notice I don't even have on gloves, which is a bad idea. So in front already, you can see there's that thin layer, which I believe is the LCD component. Or the LED, whatever it is, whatever they call it. But that's where the image is generated. And then you can see in the back, you have that array of LED light, which light up the image. There's just so many of those, so you can imagine how much power it takes just to get the image to be bright and enjoyable to the viewer. Yep, so that's the end of the 65-inch TV. Like I said, you can see it kind of retained its general shape, which is a good thing, but it's greatly weakened. So let's see if we can break off the plastic part and see what's behind there. So now I have it opened up like a sandwich, and there's a whole bunch of those LED lights all over the back of the TV. And then you have those white screens to reflect back all of the light towards the front. And it's made of plastic, tears up easily. And the LEDs are fixed to that metal frame, which gives the shape to the TV set. As you can see, those are all flexible LED lights. So someone who has a project, you need some very powerful and bright, long-lasting LED lights. I'm sure this would be a good source. Only downside is I think it's like a 94 volts to power these LEDs, which it's already getting up there, kind of a little bit dangerous. You need to know what you're doing to not have a fire. So we'll continue. And what's also amazing about this and almost shocking is that this complex smart TV has very few components. There's just that one board, there's a second board, actually two electronic boards, and then two speakers, and then the button to control everything with the LEDs. That's it. Those are the major components. As compared to a CRT television set from 15, 20 years ago. So it's just amazing to see how much technology has improved. So that's for the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. That's the little module that controls the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. It's just amazing. And over there you have the power supply, main power supply, and it's distributed to the various components. I believe the amplifier too is gonna be somewhere there, and power supply for the LEDs. Those are capacitors. I just had the TV on a few minutes ago, so I'm not touching any of those. They tend to retain their some power on there for quite a while after they've been powered down, so they could deliver a nasty shock. So it's quite amazing to see. It's just very few components to make this 65-inch flat screen TV work. Amazing. So those are the speakers, one on each side. See how small they are? That's just a plastic box to resonate the sound and make it sound deeper and richer. But the speakers are really, really tiny compared to the size of the TV set itself. And I also like the way all the parts come together. You can see everything seems modular. You throw in the component, you plug it in, and you're good to go.
Actually, these might not even be savable because of the rain.
I was actually surprised that the TV was made in Mexico. I always thought that Taiwan made the bulk of the TV sets that are sold in the United States, but this particular TV was made in Mexico. I believe Taiwan and Mexico are the two major producers of TV sets right now. So that is the screen, the part that will typically get broken if somebody throws a bottle or your TV set falls on the ground. That's that thin part that gets broken. And then you also have this second part, which is, it looks almost like it's transparent, but it's not. It's highly, highly reflective. I don't know what kind of material this is called. It feels plasticky, but yeah, it's quite interesting. Well, thanks for watching this longish video, which was more about what I found in the TV set and less about the Roxor. See you guys on the next one.